Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel today. Obviously not going to be a fun video for me to make, but I am here to try and restore some positivity, keep the faith going, and just backing the boys onto our next game. Obviously, Arsenal versus Manchester United off the back of 5 wins. 5 back-to-back wins for Arsenal. A brilliant start for the Gunners, and unfortunately come to an end at Old Trafford. In my eyes, it's tough to go Old Trafford and get anything. We've seen United drastically change this season, to be honest. We saw the loss to Brentford, which just looked a shambles. They looked awful, and I was thinking, right, well, I was kind of rubbing my hands together, and I was like, if they play like that when Arsenal play them, then even though they're always going to step it up, Arsenal and Man United is one of them games where it doesn't matter how either team is doing. It's a bit of a derby. There's a big rivalry between the two clubs. It goes back to history under the Ferguson and Arsene Wenger days. This rivalry is kind of riled from then. As a kid, for me growing up, Arsenal and Manchester United were the two teams. Them and kind of Chelsea were the teams that were up there. They were the big games. Man United, Chelsea, Arsenal, Man United. They were the big games for me growing up as a kid. That was the prime of football for me. That's how I remember football. I remember like I say, Wenger in his days at Arsenal, Fergie there, and Mourinho at Chelsea, and that was kind of like, that was when the Premier League for me was like, it was thriving. It was, that was my childhood. That was football for me growing up, and that's kind of like the era that I think back to, I revert back to, and I remember. United, like I say, they had a terrible start. They didn't look good. Ten Hag, you got to stick with him. They had to stick with him. He's a great manager. He's proved that already. United look a different side. They look like they've found the rhythm. They look like they've found a system that works for them. They brought in some new players that have fitted in quite well. And that's worked out for them, and that's worked fantastic for them. I mean, you look at Rashford, got himself a brace. That's fantastic for him and his confidence. He was a player that you'd think he was on his way out of the club, beforehand. There was lots of different sort of questions being asked about Rashford and his future. I personally really like Marcus Rashford. I think he's a really nice guy. He reminds me of like Bukayo Saka in terms of mentality. I think they're very humble lads. They're good lads. They're obviously great talents as well. But I love what they do off the pitch as well. I think they're two lads that, and more so, obviously looking at Rashford and everything he did with, like children's school meals and all that kind of stuff, all the money, that he sort of put into, speaking to the government as well and getting all of that. So I think that's fantastic, and I love to see players. I love a footballer who, and celebrities in general, that use their platforms to do some good in the world, and I love that. And I really like Rashford for that, and I do hope that Rashford does go well, obviously from an England and an England fan perspective as well. I want to see Rashford do well, so I am glad to see Rashford getting another chance at United and actually currently thriving. So yeah, fair play. Like I said, I'm not going to sit here and moan. I did a lot of moaning on Twitter. Obviously things get heated, you're in the game, you're watching it, and it's like loads of things get said sort of in the heat of the moment. So I had a lot of moaning on Twitter. I had my moments of where you're just like, oh, we've fucked everything now, the season's done, blah blah blah, cancelling us and everything. And then once the dust had settled, and once I'd chilled out and the game was done, I thought, you know what, it's our first loss of the season, which, to say 6 games in, when you compare to the start we had last season, there's been a massive improvement in this Arsenal side, and I'm very, very pleased with that. I don't think we particularly played bad against Manchester United at all. Old Trafford, I've said, because in the way that Ten Hag the last couple, the last few games has changed things around at United, it's a tough place to go. It used to be a very tough place to go. It used to be one of them places, like I say, you would fear to go. So I'm, like I say, it's not a great result. It's obviously not what we wanted. 3-1, I think, yeah, felt a bit. I feel like it looks a lot worse than what it actually was. We'll look, blah blah blah. We'll go back and we'll talk to that obviously a big talking point, which was Martinelli had the ball in the back of the net, and then obviously VAR pulled it up and they found a foul on, it was Odegaard on Christian Eriksen in the build up to that. In my opinion, it was soft. That kind of moment could change a game as well, and I feel like it did. I'm not gonna sit here and moan about that, because at the end of the day, in the beginning, yes, we did do enough to go 1-0 up. We did go, a goal ahead, and we did do enough there. These decisions happen. I understand it to a degree. I do. I wish that VAR would be used more consistently, because I feel like there are a lot of other incidents like that happen. I'm not just talking about in that game in particular, but in the Premier League itself. I feel like we need to come to some kind of like understanding with VAR, because some officials use it more than others. VAR decide to intervene sometimes in certain situations, then another situation will happen and they don't intervene in that. So I do get it, and I will hold my hands up and say, like, fair enough, yeah, it was a soft foul, but okay, it was a foul, yeah, okay. And do I think play should have been reverted back and whatever? Personally, no. But that aside, right, it happened. These things happen in football. Sometimes the officiating goes for you, sometimes it goes against you like that. These things happen, and at the end of the day, if the referee deems it as a foul, then that's what, that is what it is. And if that means that the goal gets disallowed, then we have to push on again from there, and we didn't do that. We then went 1-0 down. So it's like, we'd done enough to get that first goal, and I think because of obviously that being disallowed, maybe that deflated us a little bit, and then United went on to score, and I think that was like a kick in the teeth for the Arsenal players, I think, and I think that was where things started to go wrong. Obviously, Saka went on to make it 1-1, scoring in the 60th minute, which was great, fantastic from him. Him and Martinelli, by the way, honestly, these boys, absolutely fantastic. I love them to pieces, and I am a bit worried about us not having much backup to them, because Martinelli obviously come back from quite a big injury, and he was we saw Arteta just slowly integrating back into the side again. He didn't rush him back in, and that's turned out to be for the best. Martinelli is playing out of his skin at the minute. Saka's thriving as well. I want to see a little bit more from Gabriel Jesus, just in terms of just getting more goals. But I think that'll come. He's still contributing well in the team. I just want to see him on the score sheet a little bit more. That's not being critical of him. I'm just saying in general, I think when he can get off the mark and start chipping in again a little bit here and there, I'll be a little bit happier with that as well. When we look at enough of me talking about all the individual goals and stuff now anyway, I say I'll finish that sort of tangent off on when United went 2-1 up. That was the undoing. I think we'd done that. We'd made it 1-1, and I'm pretty sure it would have been a case of next goal wins. I think if Arsenal had made it 2-1, I think we'd have seen the game through. But United went on and scored, and then bagged another after that as well. And I think I think that second United goal, the lads' heads, the Arsenal players' heads just kind of fell off a little bit. And it happens, you know what I mean? At the end of the day. Having a look at some more positives then, we went to Old Trafford and actually created more shots than Manchester United, so that's fantastic. I saw De Gea, I think, made a couple of good saves as well. And yeah, I think I'm pleased with that. I'm pleased that we went and we're sticking to our game plan. We want to create chances. We want to play this nice attacking football. And I think obviously it's frustrating because when you go to somewhere like Old Trafford, it's difficult to do that. But being away from home and getting more shots, like 16 shots to 10, and also having 61% of the possession as well, we're keeping that what we want to do. We're keeping that sort of strategy that we're about. That's how we want to play our games. And I'm happy to see that. And I know that might sound a little bit sad sitting here and being like, oh yeah, but we have more shots in possession, so I'm happy with that. And I understand why people might be like, well, it doesn't matter. But to me, that shows that we've got a plan, we've got a system, we're sticking with it. It's worked with us for our first 5 games of the season. It just didn't work against United at the end of the day. I think the game was unlucky. Like I say, like, I've not got many qualms with Arsenal from the game. And I think the main thing that sort of matters now is how we respond from that. Like I say, that record is not bad at all. You know, I feel like we need to go in and I think it's Everton, I believe we've got next. I'll just check on this thing. We've got obviously Zurich in the Europa, and then Everton on Sunday. So Everton back at the Emirates. Everton have been struggling a bit this season. That is a perfect game for us to get back into what I want to see from the Everton game. I feel like Anthony Gordon is the main threat. I think if we can keep him quiet, come away with a nice win, a comfortable win, and a clean sheet in that game, I'll be happy with that, and we move on from there. Obviously, Europa League, I just want us to take each game as it comes. I'm happy that we're in Europe, playing European football again, but I would rather us focus on trying to get, you know, top 4, because it's going to be tight this season. It is going to be very, very tight, especially with Manchester United turning things back around and sort of looking, you know, gaining some form, looking good again. I just hope, like I say, that the lads' heads don't fall off from this, and I hope that we can just push on and bounce back, you know, with a victory. A midweek victory would be fantastic, obviously, to kickstart our Europa campaign, where the win would be lovely. But also, I think going up against Everton at the weekend, I'm struggling to get my words out, sorry. I think will be fantastic for us as well. I'm going to call it there, so thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you all have enjoyed it. If you're an Arsenal fan, let me know what you think. I don't think this time, you know, I don't think there's much reason for us to throw in the towel and sort of write us off. I still think if we can keep playing the way that we're playing at the minute, unfortunate against United, and obviously a couple of things worth noting is like how young the squad is. We've got a new back line that they're gonna take a little bit of time to gel. Obviously, coming up against United and that, it's gonna be difficult. But I do think that hopefully going forward, we can just respond in the correct way, come back and get back to winning ways again. Would be lovely, wouldn't it? But I don't think we can grumble too much as a fan base so far. Obviously, you don't want to lose any game. You don't want to lose against United because they're a big rival for us. But it is what it is. We go again. We bounce back, guys. Fair play to United, by the way. Absolute GGs. I've said this to a couple of like my United fan friends. I do think that United have sort of changed things around now. They're looking good at the minute, and I think it's important for them that they keep that run going as well. And they could be a real threat. They could be a massive threat. Can we also, before we finish off, talk about Brighton? Brighton are looking really, really decent at the minute. An absolute fair play to Mr. Graham Potter, because he is doing a fantastic job, and you've got to respect it. You have got to respect it. Thank you all so much for the support today. Do appreciate it, of course, as always. Take care. See you soon. I'll do another reaction to the game against Zurich on Thursday. Take care. See you soon.